So hopefully this is the last video. We're just gonna clean up the canvas a bit. Oh, find the right layer. If you look at the side, you can see if all the layers I'm working with like a maniac. Just clean up this a bit. Maybe clean up the sketch a bit as well. Now what layer did I put the sketch on? There we go. And that goes there. So I want to be on top of the sketch layer to bring it all together. So my technique for painting is pretty much I want to paint the lines away. But those lines I'm able to bring into the painting to kind of give it more texture. So here I'm just putting in that blue into the background of the orange to kind of give it a nice outline. So doing the face, we're going to do the same technique. I'm going to take this dark shade of the brown. I'm going to go over this blue, then color pick it because that blue is going to be a little bit darker to our eyes, and kind of define the shapes of the hair more. It goes out. I'm not really looking at the reference anymore. I probably should. So her hair goes right here. Here's one shape. It goes out. So we'll do that one shape as well. It goes out. Cuts off right here. So this is going to be a bit darker. Her ears right there. Add a little bit of line right here. And then I definitely want to brighten up this patch a bit more. Maybe add some of that orange to brighten up the brown. Just a little bit. Do the same over here. Kind of sweeps over. I'm going to use some of this area. And because I'm on top of both the sketch and the underpainting, I'm able to, you know, color over this and kind of erase with the background color. So we're going to format or put a little bit more form into her hair. There isn't really that much hair on this side. So we're going to fix that here. Add a little strand. And then I see some of the eye has a little bit of a darker ring under it right here. Right here. And then it is lighter on top of the hair. So my technique is also don't focus on one area because it can be overwhelming. So when you feel like your eye needs a break from the shapes of the hair, move on to maybe like her chin. It helps really balance the overall workload and not make it seem too, I guess, overwhelming. So from here, I want to add a little bit more darkness into her hair. It is looking a little bit gray, so I'm going to go to hue, put a little bit more saturation of the brown, but also want darker. So this nice dark brown, I'm going to add for the darker areas and the hairline. So her hair is a little bit flat into her ear. And take the orange and kind of clean up the side of her head. And the hair down here is also not out. So she does have a little bit of hair coming out right here. She has one strand of hair coming out right here. And it's very messy, as it should be. I mean, going swimming. So there we go. Just add a little bit of the definition of where it is. Keeping those same shapes so when I go in and color later, I'm able to find where the highlight would be. And this brown is really pretty, so I might use it to kind of like cover up the blue sketch layer as well throughout the rest of the painting. So there is that. And then I remember in the last video, I said I needed to move her eyebrow, so I'm just gonna take that kind of blue color right here, kind of push her eyebrow back, go to the brown, and kind of do a couple sketch marks and draw in the hairs of her eyebrow. Maybe add a little bit out to bring in more texture for her eyebrows. Then her eyes, I'll do the same. I'm just gonna draw on top of the blue because it kind of mixes in with that color, that blue on top. So once I shade in the eyes a little bit more, I can pull from the blue that's by the brown and kind of bring it out to give it more depth. So bring out her eye line, color in her eyes a bit more. And then pretty much where the darker areas of her face are. So her nose goes out, curves right there. Then her other nostrils right here, goes out. And I kind of did make her nose a little curved. So I'll fix that here. Using the blue, I definitely want to add, or this little blue spot for the shadow. Pretty much this spot right here on the painting. And 1 second while my cat decides to nuzzle my pen. I'm gonna do it on the other side. So right here, I'm gonna add in another spot of the blue. It's pretty much where the shadows of the nose would be. Bring out this red a little bit more. Mix some of the lighter color into the nose. Blend out the nose. Get rid of the sketch lines on the nose. Using this brown again, I want to outline the face of her shape. Bring in this orange a little bit too. And battle my cat so he's not nuzzling my pen anymore. There's the neck. Going to use it on the chin as well. And then her beautiful lips, we're going to use some of the red that's on her cheeks and just outline that a little bit. Then the brown to show where the water, not the water, to show where the line of her lips would be. I do need to make it a bit redder, so I'm going to use the redness on her nose and then use the color picker tool, go a little bit redder for her lips. And then sculpt a little bit more, the smile a bit out. And by sculpting is I'm just taking the area around where the object I'm painting, which is the lips in this case, and pretty much like erasing those lines a bit and sculpting her face a little bit more. So I'm going to take some of this lighter color right here, add it to the top of her lip up here. To the top of the nose, by the nose bridge. And also this light color, I want to put it on her eyes a bit. Then back to the hair. The top of the hair. I'm going to bring this brown back into the blue, kind of mix it all together. Same with the top on the rest of the hair shapes. then I'm gonna take this beautiful orange and kind of mix it in with the top and create like a gradient effect. Every now and then I'll bring one strand down. And kind of keep where the highlight is. Now I'm not following the reference photo for this. Just doing whatever feels right. Since the two hairs in the underpainting kind of meet right here, I'm going to darken the area a bit more because the hairs overlap. I'm going to try and get some more of this blue out of the way. Blend more of the forehead out. And I'm still using the same brush. I only use one brush. I should probably pick another shape, but it's a nice, relaxing time to just care about one brush. And pull some of this lighter color down into the cheek. Get rid of some of this blue. Get rid of this. And there is more blue on her nose, which I'm gonna keep there because it is the shadow of her nose. Put it down there. Hear my cat cry for attention. And then for her ear, definitely a bit redder. I don't think ears are normally that red, but gosh, I love painting them with red tones. I don't know why. And then slowly fight the urge to not make her into an elf, because I really want to. Please ignore the sounds of my beautiful cat. He was singing the songs of his people. So from here, I'm going to clean up the side of her face a little bit more, add a little bit more strands. Maybe clean up this background a bit. And here I'm like cutting through some of the hair and adding the background to it to add a little bit more of like the hair sitting on top of her head. So of course some of that background color is going to leak through, and then I'm going to add some of the strands over here. Still a lot more blue to cover up, so I'm going to just spend some time blending through, making sure all the blue's almost gone. But blending, because I still want the blue hues there to show that that's where the far away part is. Okay, add in a little bit more of the strands right here. Kind of out. I'm gonna add a little bit of eyelashes right here. Ooh, extra miles, I add water droplets. Do I want to kill myself today? No. Blending through this line a bit more. That original line that we made on the sketch. Maybe use a bigger sized brush to kind of blend all this red with the lighter color. More blending, blend, 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 blend. And for blending, I'm just following the shapes of her face. So after you do so many portraits, you'll be able to know that, yeah, her cheeks are going to be a bit more of a round stroke. The sides of her cheeks are going to be a bit more of a diagonal stroke. Just blending in, following the curves of her face. in, maybe adding more definition to the nose, but using a lighter shade to do that. Pulling some of this blue, putting it on the side of her face a bit more. Now, so I'm pretty much done with the speed paint. But what I want to do is kind of like clean up the background a bit. Get rid of this blue that's right here. Maybe add in some of that brown. Oops. I tilted the canvas. 1 second. Just coloring a bit around the sides. So I want to add a little bit more of a pop to it, right? Definitely want to pick more of a redder red. Just to go around her eyes a bit more with that red. To kind of add like my style to the colors of her face. Also pull this red over here next to her ear. Then I'm also going to pull her normal skin tone into the ear as well. So her ears are like kind of flushed. Put some of this blue from the liner inside of her ear. And then from there, I'm going to add more of the skin tone to cover up the eyes because they are a little red. Okay, so from here, I want to add maybe a lighter skin tone color. Just to kind of brighten it up. So right here, this is going to be a light right here for her on her nose. On the side of her cheek. Maybe I'll add a little bit of the light on the side of her nose to kind of pop it out a bit more to her eyes. The top of her eyelashes, or the hood of her eye. Her nostrils a bit more. We'll add the white there, the side of her neck. Maybe we can add some of this darker blue to kind of capture this shape right here. Okie dokie. And then for the brown color, I want to do the same. So a nice lighter color brown to show where all the highlights are. So around the head, maybe add some white in there as well. Okie dokie. From here, I'm gonna bring out a little bit more of the shadow on her eye. And then I want to maybe add some more brown to her lips. Darken the top of the lip a bit more. And then from here, most of the background more. Okay, so my technique after this, after I get a nice speed paint, is I want to add more, make it pop more. So I'm going to burn down all my layers, sculpt the areas that I do not need at the top. So now it's all one layer, right? Cut this part out. I'm going to go into hue and saturation, add a bit more saturation, kind of play around with the colors a bit more. And then press OK. And it is a little bit of cheating, I guess, but it adds I don't know, after staring at an image for so long, it's nice to see how much the painting can pop after you play around with the colors. So from here, I'm gonna go to levels and also do the same with levels. So scroll the sides and then I play with the middle a bit. And it kind of helps either bring out the blue more or take away the blue from the inner sketch layer. Image, adjustments, I also want to do, what's it, color balance. So for the shadows, I was definitely working with a lot more blues. So I'm just going to turn up the blue a bit more for the shadows. Midtones, it is very orange, so I'm going to do this nice yellow, red. And then highlights, I was working with, I think, yellows. And then again, orange. Maybe we can go back into midtones, add a funky color. Shadows, play around with these colors a bit. Cyan? Oh, cyan really makes the hair darker. That's nice. Maybe add more yellow? Nope. It totally gets rid of the skin tone. Yeah, so I like to do this at the end to kind of play around with it a bit more. But that's more of like a digital painting. But yeah, this is it. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you watched, I think, all three. Maybe it's all three. The last video is a little bit longer because it is painting. But, and I mean, on this face, if you want to go like extra mile, you can like add freckles on her, or ooh, make her into an elf, because that's how I always want to do things. I mean, why can't we all be elves? And kind of like make it your own of a painting. But you can even color pick from the colors we just got from this. Give her a little shirt. More freckles. Maybe some eyeliner. And just go crazy. Yeah. Well, thank you for watching again. And have a wonderful day. Goodbye.